Good morning, Facebook friends. How are you doing today? This is Mike Cook coming to you live from Central Missouri. Glad that y'all are able to hop on and join me. Say hi. Let me know where you're watching from, and also like, comment, and share my videos because it actually helps me to promote help me promote myself, get my word out there a little further. I'm trying to do two things at the same time, and it's kind of hard. I wanted to put a little scroll across the bottom there to remind you to like, comment, and share my videos. As you're jumping on, please let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you're watching on the rerun or not. Let me know if you can't hear me or anything, because I'm still getting used to this new system where I'm not using my phone, but I'm using an actual real camera and a little software program, so I'm having a good time. Anyway, so what happened? This is Monday morning. It is approximately 8:21 a.m. It is 8/31/2020. What happened over this weekend? What big events? What I don't know that the media is not actually covering. The first one that I want to talk about is basically over the weekend, the CDC quietly announced that they're full of crap. They basically said that most of the cases, they said 155,000 or 160,000 people have died from COVID, but then they come out and said, well, it may not be that big of a number. It may be a little smaller number, like 9,000. But hey, don't worry about that. The media hasn't even talked about it. It's been all over Facebook. They're blowing up my Facebook page. Everybody's, you see this? Do you see this? You see this? It's been absolutely blowing up my Facebook page that the CDC has admitted that most of the people, I'm talking the difference between 160,000 and 9,000. So the most of the people who have died from the coronavirus had 1, 2, or even 3 comorbidity cases. In other words, they had something else wrong with them, or they were older, or they had cancer, died in a car wreck. We've all seen them. We've all heard about our friends and families, or heard of a friend who had stage 4 cancer, and they passed away and they died of the COVID. They got counted. And we're like, something's wrong here. We've all known that these numbers were not accurate. The CDC has just recently come out and said they're not accurate. Dinesh D'Souza, he just stated that this could be one of the biggest conspiracies that ever happened. If this is true, if this is really what happened, the CDC numbers, they look something like this right here. And, they just minimizing the deaths, 94% had something else wrong with them. And the thought of that just blows my mind. We've all known this to be the case. Is it a real virus going around? Yeah. Is it really killing people? Yeah. But is it killing the average healthy human adult standing here today? No. Was it worth destroying millions of people's businesses and livelihoods? Probably not. Was it worth shutting down seniors' last semester of school so they didn't get to go to graduation, they didn't get to go to prom, they didn't get to do the things that they do, they didn't get to say goodbye to their friends? Was it worth shutting that down? Maybe not. At the time we didn't know, but it's fear-mongering, it's control, it's so many different things that it's unbelievable to me. The scam that's basically been perpetrated on us. And why is it? Well, let me show you why. So the president of the United States, he shared this and Twitter took it down. He shared the link to the CDC. Well, I just put it in my comments and Twitter took it down. Why take down the link to the CDC? Maybe because they don't like what it said. Do you recall that a month ago or so, Trump changed? He mandated, he said that you must send all of the death information from the coronavirus if you're a hospital, whatever, nursing home, whatever, you have to send that information not to the CDC anymore, but to the White House. You think maybe this is why? You know, they're saying that 9,000 people actually died solely of the coronavirus. They didn't have any other things other than the coronavirus. Could that be the 9,000 people that died in the nursing homes in New York? Because they put coronavirus convalescing patients in the nursing homes where people were most susceptible to it. The people who had mortality, whatever you say it. I'm a redneck, deal with it. Could it be that most of this was intentional? Saying ain't so. Saying ain't so. It's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable that for politics, because Orange Man's bad and we know our guy ain't going to win, we got to do everything to destroy this country, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. That we're shutting down, we're continuing to keep schools shut down around this nation because 9,000 people died who may or may not been extremely old, who may or may not been susceptible to this for some other reason, because their numbers are a lie. What other numbers are they lying about? You can't trust any of it. It just blows my mind away that they would do this to people, that they would create this whole scenario. You know, kind of like Russia. Evidence, only to find out there was nothing there, that it was a complete, total hoax and lie that we wasted 3 years for, a big, massive cover-up so we wouldn't see the corruption in this government, the evil in this government, whether or not it was the Benghazi, or if it was the smuggling of guns, or if it was the uranium, or if it was just the pure, flat, evil corruption, greed that was in Ukraine, everything else that's going on. Is this just one more of the massive cover-up conspiracy of the deep state? You have to wonder. You have to wonder what they're actually trying to cover up. Why would they go to this far extent to cover all this up? What is Trump possibly going to do that could be so harmful to them that they have to go to this extent to cover it up, to create a pandemic? I ask you that question. Maybe it's just rhetorical. Maybe it isn't. Moving on from that, you know, last week Kyle went to Wisconsin and shot the place up. And the media spun that as if this right-wing, racist, conspiracy 17-year-old likes guns, gonna kill everybody, was shooting indiscriminately into the crowd and killed 2 and injured 3. Oh, terrible. And those heroes, they tried to stop him. That's the way the media portrayed it. But that's not exactly how the video looks. That's not exactly how the evidence looks. There's a whole lot more evidence pointing that this guy was just defending himself. And you can watch my other videos on that. If you'd like to, just scroll back on Facebook. You'll find them. Did you know there was another shooting this weekend in Portland? Did you hear about that one? Were you watching the news? Because if you're watching the news, you probably didn't hear about it. Maybe that there was a shooting, but you didn't hear about what really happened in Portland, did you? Because the media's not talking about this one. It doesn't fit their narrative. And every time you talk about a narrative, remember that means lie. A narrative is something other than the truth. See, they don't want to show you the truth. They don't want to show you the honest CDC numbers. They don't want to show you the real facts. They want to show you their narrative of the facts, which is a lie. So what they didn't tell you about is they didn't tell you about this guy. This guy was shot and killed in Portland because he had some patriot patches on, maybe some tattoos, kind of looked like a right-wing Christian, Nazi. And some anti-fascist guy walked up, fired 2 shots, bang, bang, killing him dead in the street. And the media, don't have time to talk about that. This guy that shot this dude, that killed this man, is what they portrayed Kyle as. Yet, doesn't fit their narrative. So don't talk about it. The media wasted no time in tracking down who Kyle was. All the way back to high school, they got pictures of him when he was 10 years old, and it was plastered within 24 hours all over the national news. Who shot this guy? Do you know? There's a couple of independent journalists, the ones who got it right with Kyle, who are posting some videos on Facebook of a guy they think did it, but the media hasn't brought it up. There's no history on the guy that killed this guy. Bang, bang, and he runs away, and that's the end of it, and the media doesn't care because it doesn't fit. It doesn't push their cause, Orange Man Bad. It doesn't cause any social justice change. We're being lied to. We're being played. We're being played from both ends of the direction. We're being played from the streets, where these so-called grassroots groups like Antifa and Black Lives Matters and the other ones that are all tied together are creating and fostering civil unrest, possible revolution. They are distributing propaganda. They're distributing information to, this next week at the White House, they're talking about storming the White House again. I wouldn't advise against that. Someone's going to get shot by professionals. These people want to tear down this country, whether it's at the CDC or MSNBC or BLM or Antifa or the DNC or even their presidential candidate. They want to tear this country down brick by brick and rebuild it in the image of a Marxist communist revolution. And I did say Joe Biden. Joe Biden came out the other day after 90 days of riots in the streets in Portland, Seattle, in all over the country. After 90 days of riots, he finally came out and said riots are bad. We shouldn't do that. Kamala Harris came out and said that these protests, these peaceful protests where they're burning down and pillaging and raping, peaceful, will and should continue after the election. They are basically saying on the other side of the aisle, my friends across the aisle, as John McCain, the traitor, used to say, my friends across the aisle are saying, if you don't give us what we want, we're going to burn this place to the ground. Look, today is August 31st. You have competed level 8. Prepare for level 9. September's coming and it's going to get rough. A lot rougher than it has now. We've given them excuse to shoot guns, and that's what they're going to do. Batten down the hatches, get prepared, get ready. Have a little stuff set aside for yourself. I wouldn't trust the dollar. I wouldn't trust anything with these people. I'd be absolutely prepared for anything to happen because they're going to pull out all the stops. They're willing to burn this country to the ground and absolutely destroy it if they can't win. And you know what? The polls are saying they can win. The internal polls. They had some a little not last Monday. So a week ago today, there was a little blurb that came out. ABC reported that they were talking to the Trump campaign and said that there was a massive shift, a 10-point shift in approval polls in the Black community. And then they talked to the Biden campaign and they confirmed it, and they're panicking over it. You understand what that means? That means a landslide victory for Trump. That means like 48 states in the Electoral College. They're panicking, and they are going to pull out all the stops. Be prepared. The media is in on it. Even Fox News is in on it. They had an info babe come on today and say that, I know that was kind of sexist of me to say that. I got stole that from Rush Limbaugh. A very pretty, very nice doctor lady to say that the CDC, with those numbers, you got to really understand what they mean. Most people reading it don't understand because they're not smart like her. She's got a doctor's degree, so she's really smart. And she said that it's kind of like if you have a patient with cancer and they die, they don't necessarily die of the cancer. They die of organ failure or something else because the cancer caused it. So when you see these comorbidities that understand that the COVID virus could cause that. But what about people that had the comorbidities before they got COVID? It would have been a nice follow-up question that they didn't ask. But, we're not supposed to think like that. We're not supposed to be that smart. Because we didn't go to Harvard and Yale. We're just a bunch of old local rednecks out here in flyover country. At least we know how to change a tire, some of us. Anyways, I'm going to jump off here. You guys have a great day. I really appreciate you guys jumping on. I really appreciate your comments. Please let me know what you are thinking. And please like, comment, and share my videos. I do absolutely appreciate it. Remember, freedom isn't free. There's a price to be paid by every generation. And we're going to pay ours in spades. You guys have a great day.